Yeah, here.
Why?
Let me check the picture.
By statute, you're the treasurer of this tribe.
Okay.
Well, that's
All right, it's noon, we've got a quorum, we'll go ahead and call the meeting order. We got Mike somewhere over there on the picture, and we're on the phone with Kelly. So we have a quorum. Everybody had a chance to review the minutes of the last meeting? And if so, do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Mike made the motion.
Mike makes the motion, Larry, second. All those in favor? Aye. 5-0. Okay, we have claims, see attached. Creek Duval on the Marksbury property in the amount of $3,691. Heritage Estates, a monthly fee. And what else do we have? Judge's fee. And then Zimmerman Volt for geotechnical work.
That was out in the industrial park?
Is that
Oh, that's the home study, housing study.
housing study? Oh, resident apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gave the presentation.
Right. Presentation and findings for delivery complete study.
So that's the final billing.
Yes. So do we have a motion to approve the claims as presented in the total amount of $15,441?
I'll make the motion.
I'll make the motion. Do we have a second? Jeff seconds. All those in favor? Aye. 5-0. Mr. Swint, you're up.
So I think Kelly had sent you a 2-page update on financials. So I'm going to try to do something like this every month, and then I'll probably keep trying to refine it a little bit. But the first column is what we talked about last month, in terms of what all the projects were, and what the budgets were, then how much was spent through January with the balance. So this should give you an idea of the status of the projects. And as we go along, if we add projects or take projects away, we'll fix this. And then the second page was just more of the detail of what the expenditures were, who the payments were made to. So this is the TIF allocation fund. It's not the bond fund. And I didn't include the non-tax fund because there was no activity in January. So hopefully this will give you an idea each month of where we stand.
Thank you.
Questions for Bob? Well,
Right. It's very straightforward.
okay. Mike, you got it? Good, okay.
What is, Bob, other miscellaneous, 1,000,003, that's a big number, under miscellaneous.
Well, so this incorporates the budget that was approved with the projects. So the budget was just capital miscellaneous, I think legal, and we had a line for bonds. So there was nothing specific.
So this is what we submitted to the,
Yes.
those that aren't gonna look at it.
Yeah.
The appropriations don't miscellaneous. There's $3.5 million appropriated for miscellaneous.
Yeah,
The purchase of.
yeah, undetermined expenditures at this time.
That's not enough engineering fees.
Other questions, comments regarding it? Thank you, Bob. One thing I do need to do is I messed up. We need to go back and approve the February 4th special meeting minutes that were in your packet as well. I didn't ask for a vote on those minutes. Larry makes a motion for that. Do we have a second? Ron seconds. All in favor? 5-0. Okay. You got Bob. Judge, real estate update.
A big leak was accomplished on the relationship between the Marksberries and their prior owners and IDEM. And IDEM sent out a letter requiring them to remedy the problems. And that is a big starting point to begin negotiating with the insurance companies. So we had the mayor and Tim and I had a conference with Todd Relu, and hopefully we'll take possession of that property maybe in April or May, and things can start moving.
Other real estate updates?
Okay, yeah, then Keener, we are about to receive a brownfield letter which says as long as you don't put housing on the Keener property, you can use it for a parking lot with really no further improvements or cleanup issues. And then take possession of bowling on March the 1st. And we need someone to watch over these properties that we keep buying. We have Wilson, we have Bowling, we have Jackson Street. We need some person or some city employee to be responsible. I mean, the bowling property is a wonderful property, but we don't want the heat to get shut off. So somebody, we need to assign that task to someone.
Who's done it in the past?
Well, it's never really happened in the past.
Oh,
Jackson Street still. That one is going. It's coming down. The equipment's there, the meter bases are gone, the gas is gone.
It's coming down. We just need someone to, be responsible.
And then we closed Thursday on the Madison Ave property. So these are the keys for that. And then Keener, we're not gonna get possession on it for a year, correct?
Well, maybe. How much time?
I thought you said he'd be out this summer.
Yeah, I think it's this summer, yeah.
what are our options for that?
On the bowling property, I've had conversations with Elise in the code enforcement department about her maybe having an office in there. They don't have near enough space where we have her at the fire station now, so it'd give her some more space and then also have someone to keep an eye on the property. So I think that solves that problem.
I don't know,
As far as the Wilson, we will meet again with the National Guard on March the 9th and start planning for what we might do with that project in the future. And so I would think that conversations of the houses at the House South,
The White House.
whether we keep it or as part of the parks or whether it gets demolished as part of the rehabilitation, we'll start talking and having those conversations soon.
Did you want to use this pole barn, Bobby, or something?
We talked about just before anything else happened, because they've got a garage there with the door facing actually the parks and potentially having a spot to be able to keep in there if we had keys to it. We didn't talk about that, I don't know, there's been a lot of conversations.
would you be willing to take the keys to that building temporarily and just make sure the heat's on, I guess?
Yes.
I mean, most likely we're gonna tear
It's
it
right
down.
there, it wouldn't make sense for somebody else to come over when we're there on property doing stuff all the time.
And then Lisa can take the bowling property. And then,
There is two more keys out there. There, Charlie's got them.
then just like Jackson Street, somebody needs to drive that boat over. All utilities been disconnected, Tim, you should know.
The electric's still on it. We sent a request to Duke last week to have that removed. They said 3 to 10 days.
So you're all.
The meters are gone this morning.
I guess it was closer to 3.
Yeah.
So have you reached out to Andy to get
He's
his
got equipment on site.
Okay, so that's being taken.
That problem's getting taken care of real soon. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because that one, they left the doors open and everything.
The only other thing I had is we received a scathing email from Bob about procedure that we're using on the golf course lawn. So he was putting himself in the chair of a State Board of Appeals guy. So I have presented an addendum that kind of clarifies the procedure that we're using to do that. And basically, you appointed a golf board. The golf board has been basically approving the projects. And then the mayor and Andy have been approving the claims. But now that we have 2 new directors going forward, the directors will approve the claims. The claims will be presented to you, and you'll pay it. It's not perfect, but it's better than what we had. It's really just to protect us a little bit from the State Board of Appeals. So we need to sign that today.
Kelly's got it.
Yeah. That's all I have today.
Okay. Mayor, North Vernon Industrial Park scope of work.
Yeah, you should have, Kelly and Kathy Erdl and I met with a couple representatives from HWC Engineering to discuss the new industrial park, a little bit with the layout, marketing going forward, and some other things that Kathy believed her office really didn't have the adequate ability to move forward. So Chris Ham from HWC has put together that proposal that HWC will take care of the described work that you have there. So on behalf of the EDC and Kathy, we're requesting that you fund that for the new industrial park. Seems like a small investment above and beyond all the surveying work that we're doing out there and the old metal thing. So this will help promote the property statewide, countrywide a little better.
Okay. $5,250 is what we got.
Yeah.
We have a motion.
Kathy is on vacation and could not attend. Kelly, anything to add to that? Oh, thank you.
So, Woodall Property Marketing Company, that is actually who will be paying the $4,500 to, but HWC is also listed on here.
I would think all payments would go to HWC and they would funnel any sub-consultant work.
Okay. So that
I
includes.
wasn't part of that, so.
So does that include the drone, because it talks about drone footage and stuff too, does that 4,500 include the drone footage and everything? So that's where the finished product is. Okay, well then I'll move to.
Bob makes a motion to approve the $5,250. Mike's turn. You want a second, Mike? Okay. All those in favor? He's got a good chair there, doesn't he?
Yeah, I was gonna say, it was very comfortable.
All the snap worn out.
Look at that smile, it's warm, it's not snowing there.
I've got a question. We were going to name that.
We can name it after you, Larry, it's fun.
Larry Vernon Industrial Park.
We can name it the Larry Wasson Industrial Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll get some input.
It seemed like there was some discussion way back, but I
Way
don't know
back
if we ever came to a
Jackson
conclusion.
Jackson
Yeah.
Industrial.
But we decided that wasn't a good idea.
No, not for Jennings County to have a Jackson
Maybe
industrial.
call it,
How about Sunny?
You could
Sorry. His name is
Albert.
Yeah.
Albert Jackson.
To be determined, to answer
To
your
be
question.
determined. Kelly, annual report?
So I think everybody has a copy of the annual report. If you're interested in it, I can send it out digitally. One thing that I did a little bit differently is in the very back of the report, there is some demographic data that the state released, and it's just for Jennings County. And then everything else are just activities that you guys funded or did, the airport, the ABC grant, the quarry, manufacturing day, Black Cat Racing, the water delineation summary from the 2 parcels out on the bypass, and the updated housing study. as well as the active tax abatements that we have. And then I also put in Placer AI data for the entire city from January 1st of 2025 to December 31st of 2025. And then the one-page sheet of the wage and benefit study that we do for this year, it was by county, us, and Jackson County. But the sheet that's in your packet is just the Jennings County data. And then we have a one-page sheet, industry sheet that we have in our office. You can look over that and let me know if you have any questions.
I feel like some of the demographics information in here is relevant to the heritage estates and that potentially redefining that a bit. Based on the
Agreed.
numbers here.
Never grow, but on what you want.
Not projected, we're shrinking, yeah, we're projected to shrink.
Well, I think I've shared this before, that I was with Gene Russell at a foundation meeting one day, and we were talking about his business and Brian's business, and how many funerals they had per year total between the two, and I think it was somewhere north of 350 or whatever between the two of them, so it's about one a day, how many funerals between the two of them that we have. And then we were sitting there, so I did chat GPT, and I said, how many births do we average annually in Jennings County? And it's just 301, I think. So every year we're shrinking just because of natural causes, I guess.
That's national, it's not just Jennings County, but it's
Well,
It's
maybe
bigger,
we're-
right? It's
And you look at these, use the demographic of the high school, you know, we're playing in a 3A tournament, where we used to do 5A.
Some of that might be the result of changes at Country Star Lakes, where people have left because they can't stay there under the circumstances they like. One thing that pops up to me, Seymour's doing well, Columbus, Greensboro, Madison, they all have these nice hospitals, and pay is going up in the health services area exponentially, and the highest paying jobs in America are in hospitals. It's a shame we can't somehow figure out a way. Just saying, I don't know how we could, but right now we're just in emergency room. It's a shame. You look at Seymour's Hospital in Greensboro, Madison's got a brand new hospital, it's just like, we're in a position where we really can't change it. That, I think, affects the average wage dramatically.
And, I mean, look at how many physicians do we have in town where we can send them.
And then did we live?
I mean, when I was in Kathy's job, it was move on, right in the hospital at that time. And we went to Bloomington, different trade shows, trying to recruit doctors and people to move to Jennings County. Because they wanted them to funnel the people to the hospital. Well, if you go to convenient care, those funnel you to Seymour.
Yeah.
For your tests and your x-rays and your MRIs. And
it's probably, it's nearly impossible to justify a 20-bed hospital anymore, it's just
Yeah.
not. It's not, the fixed costs are so high.
Yeah, that's just the way it is. That's
Yeah,
the way
it's
it's
the reality of it. But how do we attract those high-paid healthcare workers from Seymour to live here?
I
That's
don't know,
another
unless
option.
it's a disc golf requirement, I don't know.
There you go.
I mean, seriously, the quality of life, maybe, I don't know.
A bigger house.
well, Lois, Mayor, you were looking up the houses over there in Seymour the other day.
But they don't want one.
Yeah.
Kelly, this was a great job. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think it'll help us all year.
Let's see, Andy, anything from you?
I do have a thing. Larry brought up a good point about Madison and Bartholomew County and Seymour. One of those other reasons is they don't have simulators.
Well, that's quite a segue.
Well, you know, it's
Madison has similar.
so I'm here to talk a little bit about simulators, but a little bit more than that. But I want you to know that simulators were never part of the original loan to the St. A's golf course. We were never talking about simulators. The reason why I'm talking about simulators now is we're putting in kind of a sports bar area that's 40 by 32, and it's going to attract a different crowd of people besides what we're doing inside the clubhouse. And as we were looking at the cost of that, that was going to be like a 2-season room, a little bit in the spring, definitely in the summer, a little bit in the fall. And one of the city council people who's a builder, we've got a group of builders that designed that room, he was saying that you know, with the simulators and the council and stuff that's gone recently over to Jackson County and used their simulators, they were saying they talked about simulators in the future with a price tag of $300,000 or $400,000. That's talk about raising the cart barn, part of it. So you put simulators in there, and then you got to build more of a cart barn to move your carts out and everything. And we've got the saying, well, if we did this right, we have to see the ceiling in this area. And if we insulated it, did it right, for about $155,000 more, we could provide these simulators and buy the simulators with that, instead of doing that down the road. And that would have the project completed if the city wanted to do simulators. We'd have it all done in the same timeline as this project, so we wouldn't be tearing stuff up in the future. So I was here just to talk, that's why I'm here, talk about simulators to make that building that we're going to do out there a 4-season building instead of a 3-season building. Now, at Seymour, they have a league and they generate about $30,000 of income with their winter leagues simulators, and they charge different fees for that. Bobby knows more about it than I do. Larry, maybe
Question. 30,000 for the simulators, but is it connected to the bar?
Is
The
that
bar
what's-
makes a lot of money.
that's $30,000 they generate in their fees, their winter fees without their bar.
Yeah. So
Okay.
bars.
Yeah, I don't have the number on the alcohol there.
Have you seen Timbergate's simulators?
I have not.
Their simulators are in the bar.
Well, ours are gonna be very close. Ours are gonna be right out the doors to the bar. Yeah, that's 30,000 without adding the alcohol. Now, I'm figuring if you look at what we do on a weekly basis with league nights, which won't be half big, but we generate about almost $4,000 with the 3 leagues during the league. And so I'm guessing we could generate 10,000 or 13,000 in the winter time with food and alcohol stuff.
You mean
Above whatever we can do with our league.
For the whole thing.
okay.
And that's revenue, non-profit.
Well,
And there's got to be operating costs part now, or is that out before or after operating?
the operating cost is however much it costs us to run, we're gonna use a gas line because it's the most efficient to keep that big room.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, we hired 2 directors and the city employees, so they'll be there full-time anyway, they're gonna work full-time, so. this-
So they would run the facility. So there would be no incremental cost other than the cost of the food,
And
the bar,
The heat.
bar and food.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have an increased water sewer bill because there'll be people out there all year, some of those costs.
The insurance,
But obviously, there's no chemical fees, mowing grass fees, gas for lawnmowers, all the other things outside.
so the directors would serve the alcohol even?
Yeah, they just got their license.
Okay.
But I'm not saying that it might not need another part-time employee to help out or anything like that. But
That was just league fees, that's not like if 8 of us wanted to go in and rent it on the weekend for something or like that.
Yeah, that
Actual.
that does not include, maybe what the high school would give us help with this.
I think you'd be naive to think too, when the 60 guys show up for Tuesday night league and a thunderstorm comes in, they're gonna play golf on the simulators instead of going home. I mean, it'll be used year round. The 2 new directors will be giving lessons to people throughout the year. I think from an ROI standpoint, this is gonna pay for itself really quickly. Obviously, council made the investment to hire the 2 directors because they knew this was coming down the road, and the previous director took his time off in the winter when he can, and that's just not gonna be available, so we've got the extra person. Obviously, on your project list, I think I had 300, thinking it would be more, so if Andy and the work that they've been doing with the initial line of savings brings it down to 150, all the better.
What do you typically charge for? 30 per person?
I see.
Per copy, yeah, so 18 holes in Shadowwood on the simulator is $30.
Okay, so if you have 4 guys, is it 120?
Plus beer and snacks. And I think that ROI was 30 per simulator.
There's not much beer city in this county, though.
That's correct.
No, but we're willing to work on that.
That was.
Yes.
So Jared, you said it was 30,000 per simulator,
I believe that to be true, yeah.
so we don't know if it's 30 or 60.
So Shadowwood has one full-time simulator, then they have one temporary simulator in the winter.
Shadowwood is $30 for 18.
You were talking about $30 per 18 holes. Larry was talking about the cost of the simulator.
No,
No, it's not about
no,
that.
you have 2 of them. The gross, what the
I
gross
agree, it's
receipts.
$30 for an hour.
Yeah, I
And
don't
then if you
know.
go to Madison, they have, not the golf, they have it there.
I know Otter Creek has them now, Madison has them, Seymour has them out, Timbergate. I was talking to Spire, he's like, man, the simulator is really going crazy.
I went to Shadowwood's golf, their website yesterday, when I saw this on the agenda, and, they said that they gave a bunch of reasons why they're a good thing, like how it improves your game and all this stuff. So they were selling it pretty hard.
I don't know if anything can improve my game, but I'll try.
Well, we will, with the 155,000, our intention is to set up 2 of them that you can use for teaching and stuff and use for league and stuff. And then with that room, if it's successful, leave it open where the golf course is doing well. We can maybe add that in the budget to purchase a 3rd, but I don't think 1 would do you. 1 would be 2, wouldn't work. You'd have to have 2 to keep that park going.
So the 155 includes what, the building and the simulators, or?
It includes finishing out the building so we can buy the simulators and use the simulators, so we change the ceiling from being flat to steep because of the height of the cloud. Plus, we're gonna add heat, we're gonna have to insulate. And we're gonna have to get some doors now that we can pull down and lock in and use it through the winter. And these windows are gonna roll back up, so it'll be open in the summer, so we can use the fans and stuff. And then we've got like 6 TVs and furniture. It's gonna be like a sports lawn.
That's in the park barn, or you're taking away.
The park barn stays the same and we don't have to do anything with the car.
Okay, so we're gonna extend on the end.
We're gonna
By
put
the
those,
side door.
the birch trees.
Okay.
It's gonna be so you can watch Jeff O'Connor 3-putt number 18. Shoot through the city.
So that's just for the building itself. There'll be an additional cost for the simulators.
No, that 155 would include some.
Includes 2 simulators.
We're going ahead and put that outdoor building in, but it won't be available to have force the winter season. We won't have an insulated ceiling, it'll be totally different. If we put it in, it'll be a lot less. what the city council people were talking about. I think the simulator's a good idea, because we could go ahead and get it done and use that building and make it 4 seasons and then move that furniture out in the winter instead of building another area that might be 300,000 or 400,000 because we have to do some of the cars and stuff. So this is, as Pat said, he thinks it's a lot cheaper way to go, plus it would be done.
So it's 150,000. 160,000.
I like
And in return for that, we get an incremental $10,000 a year, and we'll call it free and clear, because you're probably gonna do more than that.
Yes.
You'll probably make that to pay it back.
Plus whatever the charge on the fees and stuff, like Shadowwood's making their 30 grand fees, plus whatever alcohol chips and
Yeah,
stuff.
so we should, that's a 15-year payback. Easy, right?
Or less.
Or
I was
less.
gonna say, I was thinking less.
You just exclude 30 would be 5 years.
If it was 30, well,
we
I mean, you
generate
gotta
30.
take the operating costs out. There's gonna be operating costs.
But we do have to pay those directors in all year. So yes, so there will be some electricity, there's gonna be some gas, you're right.
So when we go there, if you don't mind, when we go there and play, there's one person running their entire club shop for 2 simulators, which means there's 2 teams playing from 9 a.m. till 10 o'clock at night. So from an operating cost, obviously, if you're gonna keep the heat on the building, that sort of stuff, anyway during the winter, you're gonna have that. And as he mentioned, you have 2 guys that are gonna rotate, being in there and kind of take care of it. So there's not a ton of more operating costs outside of the standpoint of your general maintenance for those sorts of things. And I know every year you have software costs of those. I don't know how far in depth you get with how many courses you do and stuff like that, but those are really your only additional operating costs that you have once you have them.
So you're asking for
And liability.
55,000 additional.
Yes. And that would give you 2 simulators, plus it will greatly enhance that sports bar as well, because it will be a lot further. So, I don't know, I like that. Now, I'm not a simulator guy, so it's weird that I'd be up there trying to sell it.
You don't like them?
She's not needed.
He likes to be outside.
But in the winter,
Playing was not.
Well, the Seymour website was compelling for how it improves your game, so maybe you need.
Well, I did a lot of improvement. That's
I
true.
play on Monday nights, and basically it's, you know, friend of mine that owns one, and it just, I look at it as staying somewhat younger in my age, and I've learned a few things too, so hopefully I can carry them on outside later.
Oh, I was skeptical coming in, but as I always am, but you're convincing.
Not to my wife. Okay, well, that's all I have. I
Are
just
we
say
asking
we
for
are,
a motion?
You have to have a motion.
You have to have a motion if we want to do it.
I'll make that motion.
Larry makes a motion.
From the 155
Up to 155.
up to 155.
Do I have a second?
Should I abstain since I'm on the board as well?
I would.
Mike?
Let's get those.
I'll second it.
Rhonda seconds it.
Thank you.
So Jeff's going to abstain, so all those in favor of up to $155,000 additional dollars to the golf course for the new building and golf simulators. All those in favor?
Is this a grant or a payback, a loan, or what is it?
I was under the impression that the original loan was future payment.
Future payment.
So we'll add this to the loan.
We need to amend the motion.
I would suggest we add it to the loan. It doesn't mean that we still could forgive it. We don't have to change our notes, though. Correct? Because
The notes really just make a grant, so we don't forget.
Okay.
Yeah, let's add it to the loan. just
Yeah.
so that clean.
Further in
So
depth.
the loan is like.
1.3.
Further in depth.
All right, so any further discussion?
We got 2 yes.
Mike? Okay. So, you give it to Larry.
So my motion is that we loan the golf course up to $155,000 for finishing up the golf simulator.
And those claims will be paid consistent with the new.
And building.
And building.
And building.
And building improvements, yeah, with the golf simulator.
So all those receipts with the simulator and building improvements will all be funded, to make sure Charlie knows that they all went towards that structure. Because I've still got some other things to do, but I'm
Okay.
accused of that.
All right. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
4-0, 1 abstention. Tim, you got anything?
No, Sandy.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
Tim, you got anything? No. Bobby? Parks?
I did have one thing that I talked to Charlie about, before, that I think from the 300,000 that you gave the parks last year, there's about $20,000 left on that was still work that we had done. I didn't get the invoices in on time to be approved through last year, but I was gonna maybe request permission to have that 20 rolled over for 2026 or.
Did you get the note about the additional appropriation?
Oh, that's right here. That's coming up.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So we just,
Yeah, it's,
yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
2636, what
The keys to that house. He said the keys to the house were locked really. Back door, garage first, find the garage door key.
Let's go that way. Okay.
We'll
We'll figure out one way or another.
Okay, we got Bobby. J-Rod, anything you?
The third.
Okay, so now we have Charlie. We got an additional sheet that's on your left-hand side in your folder. Charlie wants to make sure that we get it defined correctly. So one of those park pool capital projects. So there's an additional $20,636.43 for 2026 to complete this. And then golf course loan was spent, so you'd like to have an appropriation of $1,022,359 for 2026 to complete the loan. So this is clarification of how the property is going to be, or the information we discussed. So do we have a motion to allocate those funds for 2026?
Can I?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion on the golf course part.
This was already done, we're just.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just getting stuff in there. Do I have a second? Larry seconds. Further discussion? All those in favor? Aye, 5-0. Okay, did I get everybody in the room? Mary, got anything else?
No, sir.
All right. Charlie, you have anything?
Just don't know if anybody's listening in, it may sound like there's an additional amount again for the golf course of $1 million, but appropriations do not carry over, so it's unspent appropriations in 2025 that are just being carried over. That's kind of confusing.
All right, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? So Larry makes the motion to adjourn the meeting. Do I have a second? Jeff seconds. All those in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned. Hey, Charlie. See ya. Bring some warmth back with you.
Oh,
Leave there, Josh.
No, sir. I need
Yeah, so I don't think we all.
All this one.
What's up, Bob?
So you hear how we done fix your lip problem?
No.